What's up, YGO Strats here, our first video in a session I'm going to be calling Single Card Discussions, where we take a look at some of the cards that have impacted Yu-Gi-Oh! Throughout the years. For our first video, we're going to be taking a look at a fan favorite and one of the most defining cards in the game, Elemental Hero Stratos. Taking a quick look at the history of the card, it was first released in the TCG in April of 2007 as a Shonen Jump magazine exclusive. Since then, it's had notable reprints in Champion Pack 6 in 2008, the Majestic Red Dragon Tin in 2010, and the Legendary Collection Mega Pack 2 in 2011. Despite being released in April of 2007, it was limited to one in the March 2007 ban list due to the OCG and TCG sharing a ban list at the time. It was banned in the TCG in September of 2013 with much controversy, although it has stayed at 1 in OCG. Taking a look at the card, Stratos is a level 4 wind attribute warrior type effect monster with 1800 attack and 300 defense. Its effect reads: when this card is normal or special summon, you can activate one of these effects. You can destroy spell and trap cards on the field up to the number of hero monsters you control except this card, or add one hero monster from your deck to your hand. His effect may not be very long, but there's no denying that it was influential. They're broken for a number of reasons. For starters, they happen whenever he's normal or special summoned, and can be used more than once per turn. This means that only one copy of Stratos can be used multiple times per turn to get off multiple effects. You can search twice and pop cards on the field depending on how many times you can get the card out. And both of his effects are practical. While not commonly used, the ability to destroy spell and trap cards can help any deck when making a push for game, and the ability to search any hero card, be it Elemental, Destiny, or Evil, to help deck thin and set up your combos, making him an inherent +1 on summon. And having 1800 attack makes him not only a useful card, but a powerful one. Up until he was banned, Stratos was not only relevant in any deck that used hero cards, but a necessary one, and most of the time that deck ended up being somewhat meta. To say he helped in combos is an understatement. You see, something else to note about his effect: even though it searches every hero monster, it doesn't have any limitations, meaning that summoning Stratos can search out a Stratos. Granted, you can only run 3 copies of Stratos for one format, and in the OCG, it definitely showed its effectiveness. The first deck to really abuse Stratos was known as Airblade, and it used 3 copies of Stratos alongside cards like Divine Sword, Phoenix Blade, Reasoning, and Monster Gate to turbo its way to having 3 Stratos in the grave. It would then activate Dimension Fusion to summon a full field with at least 3 Stratos, and because each Stratos would pop 2 other spell and trap cards if needed, you'd blow up the entire spell and trap row of your opponent, even if they had a field spell. Due to the speed and strength of this deck, Stratos was hit to 1 on the next ban list, but his presence wasn't stopped there. He continued to be a key card in the metagame, serving as the engine for multiple decks. Diamond Dude Turbo used him to search out Diamond Dude, Perfect Circle Monarchs used him to search out Malicious or Disc Commander, and he was used to search components for Return Dad, a deck in 2008. Most infamously, Stratos was used for the same role in Teledad. The deck would run as many copies of Rhoda as it could for the sole purpose of getting Stratos on board first turn to search out Malicious, who was used with Destiny Draw to both deck thin and make synchro plays. After Teledad, Stratos saw further use in a deck called Bubble Beatdown, where it'd be run alongside 3 copies of Bubbleman and a few copies of Neos Alias. The deck would make quick use of Bubbleman's effect for easy rank 4 plays like Blade Armor Ninja, and then fusion plays with Miracle Fusion for powerful monsters like Elemental Hero the Shining or Absolute Zero. Beyond just the meta decks that he played a key role in, Stratos not only set the bar for archetype searchers, but he was above it. Countless archetypes have made searchers, notable ones off the top of my head being Satellar Knight Deneb, Madolche Magiline, Agent of Mystery Earth, and Batteryman 9V. Countless more. The difference is all these monsters have something that make them more balanced, or appropriately put, not as effective as Stratos. Either you need to normal summon it, you can only search once per turn, or like Batteryman 9V blows up after you use it, and all these things have like lower base stats than Stratos. Stratos' searching effect is so prominent that any given searcher in an archetype can be called that archetype's Stratos, and the majority of the player base will know exactly what they're saying when they do. He really did set the bar for any card that will search out a general archetype card, and cards that end up becoming the core engines of various decks. While controversial, his ban was official in the TCG in September of 2013, and as of this video, it doesn't seem like that's changing anytime soon thanks to Heroes' new searcher, Shadow Mist. Even in the current era of Heroes, Stratos is the difference between whether or not Wind-masked heroes can be played or not, and it's definitely something that's wanted by all TCG players who are playing hero decks. Regardless of whether or not he should be on the ban list, Stratos is without a doubt one of the more influential cards in Yu-Gi-Oh!, if not one of the most influential. Not many monsters from 2007 can be considered relevant today, and given that whole free Stratos thing that's going on, it's clear he's still a popular card. And that concludes our look at single card discussions, Elemental Hero Stratos. We hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to suggest any sort of deck profile, card discussion, or any other videos you'd like to see from us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on YGO Strats.